Good morning, Bootstrappers. This is Ryan Nickel coming at you with another day in the life. Actually, no, this is a coaching tip. I've been doing such a day in the life for so long. This is a coaching tip number 3 coming at you, Bootstrappers. All right, so it's a nice little Tuesday morning. Got my swim on at 7 o'clock. Gonna go head home and have some breakfast with the family, take the kids to school, and get on my day. So the other day, I was out looking at a property. When was this? This was last week sometime. So I was out looking at a property and inspecting it, just taking a look at it, and it happens to be 3 houses or 3 properties on the same piece of land that the dude is selling. The way the makeup is, it's 2 stick-built houses and then 1 mobile home in the beginning. So it's a long, narrow strip of land, and he's asking $75,000 in a market that it needs some repairs. I mean, it needs a lot of work, and we didn't actually go inside the houses. We were just looking at the properties themselves, and at face value, $75,000 is probably too much for these properties. They're all 2 1s, and they have they're renting for $600 a piece. So, but one of them he just evicted one of them, the middle unit, and so basically it's a 3-plex, if you want to look at it this way. So he evicted the middle unit, and it was trashed, he said, so he boarded it all up. So we hadn't been inside to look at it. So we had the first house, the second house, and then a mobile home, and they're all, in order. And the mobile home is the front house. So looking at these properties, I'm like, oh, dang, man, $75,000. He wants all cash, no terms, doesn't want any of that. And so I'm looking at these, and I'm like, and I'm with my buddy, and I'm like, dude, what do you think we can do with these properties? He's like, I really don't know. And so on the surface, looking at the exterior here, I'm like, this is, unless he's going to come down on price. And so our strategy was, okay, we're going to buy these properties, or we're going to get them under contract for the asking price of $75,000. Then we're going to come in with our inspections, and we're going to look at, okay, how can we get these properties down, because they need a lot of work. This is in an area that is, you could consider this a slum area, very slummy. In fact, we met with the guy yesterday to actually do our inspections, and I'm going to get to the point here. Well, we met with the guy. He bought these properties about 4 years ago for $65,000, and now he's asking $75,000. He did not put a dime into any of these properties, and his comments to us were, it's going to be hard to get rid of these properties. These are good cash flowing properties. These people will stay here for life. So it tells you what he thinks about his tenants. He's like, these guys they have no ambition, they won't do anything, they will stay here for life. And you don't have to really do much to these properties. They'll just continue to cash flow like day in and day out, month in and month out, year after year kind of thing. And so I'm like, okay, so in his mind, everything is all about cash flow, which is totally cool, because for me, I'm a cash flow guy as well. But there's also some moral responsibilities that come with being a landlord as well, and I don't think that has really been taken into consideration on his part, at least with the conditions of some of these houses. I mean, maybe that's just his tenants, and they prefer living like that and don't have a problem, and don't want to bring up any issues or whatever. But anyway, so these properties at $75,000 at $600 a pop, $1,800 a month, it's pretty good ROI if I bought those properties and did nothing to them. Fortunately and unfortunately, the unfortunate part is that area, actually the fortunate part is in that area, you don't have to do a whole lot to it. And people will rent them. The unfortunate part is they wouldn't, in its current condition, I don't think I'll get that much more life out of that middle property. So here's where this coaching tip comes into play. Looking underneath the hood. So went ahead and started doing some research, and I saw that there was 2 meters on the property. So the mobile home has its own water meter, and the houses in the back, the 2 houses in the back, they share a meter, and they also share a sewer. So there's a separate sewer for the mobile home and a separate meter for the mobile home, but the two houses in the back share the same meter and the same septic. Upon further investigation, I looked at this, and I realized that there's 3 different APNs for this same parcel, for this property. So this dude owns it, but there's 3 APNs, and it goes back way back into the 60s for these APNs, and that's as far as I could get just doing a cursory title search. And so I thought, I'm like, whoa, $75,000, 3 APNs. How much money could I put into these properties and sell them as 3 separate homes either rent to own or just outright sales. Comparables in this market, in this area, I'm looking about between $40 and $45,000 per property. So if I picked it up for let's say $75,000, and I put maybe 20 into them, maybe. I mean, again, they don't need that much for the area that you're in. 20 would fix one of the roofs on one of them. Just, you know, actually there's a lot of dry rot in another one, but let's just say 20. So I mean, I'm all in $95,000 plus my holding cost. I can turn around and I can sell these things for 120. I mean, I can make a quick 25 on it. But is it worth my time? But however, it's something that I did not see on the surface. I had to go under the hood on this one and find out that there's 3 different APNs on this particular property. So you never know when you're looking at a property on the surface if it's going to be a deal or not. This still might not be a deal for me. I have a landlord buyer buddy of mine that this will be a slam dunk for him all day long. He'll buy it for $75,000, put maybe $5,000 into it, just make it livable again, and he'll cash flow those things every single day. And that's probably where I'm going to go with those, is wholesale them. But his exit strategy in the future could be, and I'm going to sell, and this is going to be my selling point and justify some of my wholesale fee, is that, hey, your exit on this thing is you can fix these things up in the future, and you can just do a rent to own on each, because he's a cash flow guy anyway. I mean, he holds these things for long term anyway. Is, hey, just, you know, turning each of these APNs into a rent to own, and you got even more bank. You know, more bang for your buck. So anyway, that's the opportunity that's there in play. Wouldn't have saw that otherwise. I just would have been a straight rental, you know, buy and hold. But now I see there's an opportunity to do an individual sell on each of these APNs, or to do a individual rent to own on it, which before wasn't an opportunity. So anyway, if you're not looking at this opportunity, if you're not looking at all of the angles and seeing every single aspect, when you pull up the, you know, when you pull back the curtains or you go under the hood and you look at you start to inspect things, you're going to miss opportunities. This one I would have missed this opportunity if I didn't dive in deeper and started looking at how the configuration of each of these houses were on this particular lot, and discovered something. So anyway, do your homework, dive in deep, look at all aspects of your property, look at the APNs, look at how it is. And for those of you who don't know, it's the assessor parcel number, or the tax ID number, basically how the property is identified. Most properties usually have 2, sometimes mostly 1. It depends if you're like in a residential area, but if you're in rural, where I'm at, sometimes you're overlapping. I have like 2, 3, 4 different APNs on the same property. It's all considered the same address, but they're all tied together in that same property. So you can do a split, or you can do anything that you need to do based upon those APNs, lot line adjustments, whatever. So anyway, dive deep, look good, and start looking for more deals. All right, see ya.